Well, welcome everybody. Hope you all are having a great day today. I think it's really exciting to have the opportunity to be one of our token mail speakers today. I do have one issue that we do need to address before we get started, and that is Baylor. This is the men's seating section up here. I'm totally messing with you, but so. Yeah, he was going to do it. I had to totally mess with him because, since he's the only other male that is speaking today. But I'm going to try and not talk too much about motorcycles, cars, and other things like that. And I might mention shoes or something during our presentation. But how many of y'all were at Beth's presentation this morning about SEO 101? Perfect. We're going to pick up where she left off. So, the world of SEO is just this crazy thing, and the biggest takeaways that you can get from Beth this morning was really that it's not a set it and forget it kind of a thing. We're not, cooking the chicken in the crock pot, but we've always got to be massaging and always be looking at our content, because, well, most of us that are in any kind of business, we always are hearing this stuff about, content is king, content. Kind of like we hear in the real estate industry, it's all about location. Well, the internet, it's all about content. And, the part of the big challenges that we have with that is trying to figure out what do we really need to be saying. And with a lot of my clients that I get in to start talking with them, most of the time I find that a lot of them really don't understand what they need to be saying about their products and their services. I had a conversation with the lady earlier today. Imagine that, a lady, right? But was talking with the lady this morning. She said, I'm always getting these phone calls from these companies saying, hey, we can get you on page 1 of Google. Every single day. I'm an SEO guy. I get those calls and those emails also. My favorite is the one that says, hey, we were looking at your website and we could see how we can help you improve your search results. And I said, no, you were not on my website because it is painfully obvious that I do SEO work. Because on every single page in big, 1-inch high letters, you see SEO all over the place. Every now and then I really have fun with them, and I'll actually send their email back to them, but I change my name, into where their name was. And said, I was on your website, and I see that really you've got some areas that you need to be focusing on. My favorite was one of the guys actually emailed me back, and you said, are you serious? And I went, why, yes, I am, because you were not on my website. So you can have fun with spammers every now and then. So what I would like to take us to the next step is, it just got quiet again. The next step that I would like to take us to is to really understand how we can understand what the value is that we have. I want us to think a little bit more about, what those keywords are. What are those words that really describe who we are and what we do? And think about this from all perspectives of your internet presence. Whether it's your Twitter account, whether it's your Facebook account, whether it's your LinkedIn account, because after all, what is LinkedIn? It's your professional networking tool. And, all of these areas, we've got the opportunity to be using those keywords to define who we are and what we do. How many of y'all can actually say that y'all have gotten business off of LinkedIn or Facebook or something like that? There's a couple of you in here. But, I get an email in my box every single week, at least one, from a recruiter that's found my profile on LinkedIn that's saying, hey, we've got a job opportunity that would be absolutely perfect for you. Or actually having a potential customer or a client actually reach out to me because they're going like, man, I see you all over the place and you're always talking about the same key things. In my situation, it's that SEO stuff. So what I want to get in and talk about is, that little search engine company over here in the Silicon Valley called Google, and talk about how we can leverage their free tools to help us really optimize what we're doing on the internet. So a lot of us have probably heard about the product Google Analytics. I'm a big advocate for Google Analytics because Google Analytics really allows us to get in and see exactly what's going on with those websites that we're dealing with. Let me shrink this up just a little bit if I can. Is Google going to allow me to do that? No. So we can really get in here and see what kind of traffic that we have coming to our site. So we can see in this situation that we've got a very noticeable pattern to this particular this particular analytics account that I'm pulling up. You can tell in this situation that, hey, they get a lot of traffic on their website during the week, but then it dies out on the weekends. Or, hey, what was going on over here back on July 2nd, 1st, somewhere in there. So we can really use this free tool that we've got at Google Analytics to really start getting an idea of how effective we are with our website. I love to share this. I've got a client that literally whenever I first started working with him, he didn't have Google Analytics on his site. And I said, well, do you have any idea how many people are actually coming to your website? And he said, no. Or, and I started talking to him. I said, well, it's kind of get a good idea of how many people are coming there. How big of an audience are you talking to? Is it 5 people a week, or is it, in this situation in the last 30 days, this client's had 24,000 people, unique visitors, come to their website. And, that can be exciting. He didn't have a clue at that point in time. So again, we can get in and use this tool, free tool, by the way. We can get that on our website and start being able to glean some things. So, not only could we actually go in and see how many sessions we've had on that website, but we can also come in and see some other great information in regards to, how many total page views. 51,000 pages were viewed on this company's website, averaging 2.8 pages per customer. So that kind of gives us an idea that, hey, we're saying some good things. We're getting some multiple page lookups. We're seeing that we've got an average of people are staying on that site 3 minutes. So if you come in and look at your analytics and you say that, oh man, people are staying on my site less than a minute, we can make the assumption from the kind of the marketing perspective in that situation to say that, hey, maybe we're not saying the right things. Maybe our potential customers are not really getting what we're saying. So we can look at some of these metrics that we have on here to start really get in and understand that. Or also we can even say, how many new sessions do we have? So if we see that a low number of our visits to our website is low for new, then in that situation we can say we aren't getting enough new blood coming in. We're just getting a lot of our repeat customers. While we all know that it's easier to sell to our existing customer base, but we want to have some fresh blood in there because, if we have a product that it's a one-time sale, then we've got to be able to get in there and really look at some things like that. Now, one that I really like to talk about is the number up here that's called bounce rate. How many of you actually know what bounce rate is? A couple of you? We got a few. So bounce rate, it's a really valuable number for us to look at. So we've got that bounce rate right here. I see a couple of you going, bounce rate, huh? So in this situation, 46.6% of the visitors to this website are bouncing. In other words, they're coming to one page on the site and leaving. In other words, we didn't say the right thing, they didn't find the right thing, or we don't have the right thing that they're looking for in that situation. Okay, well, out of the 24,000 people that came to site, 12% of them bounced. So I actually have one client that his bounce rate is 92%. Hideous. 92. He's going like, man, we've had 1,000 people on the website, and I said 985 of them left, and we're not potential customers. So how many valuable people did you have visit your website this week? 12. That wasn't a good thing for him. So what can we just do to start looking at some of that information? Let's look at a couple of other really cool things that we can look at in regards to the analytics that we have here. Did you know you can actually come in and see what your city reach is? So if you have a brick and mortar location, maybe you got a small mom and pop shop, to where you're in, this part of Plano, or where are we at? We're in Allen, right? So if we're here in Allen and we've got a shop over here at Bethany and Jupiter, we know that the majority of our audience is going to be right there in that area. So we're going to be looking at all of the area through there, over to the lakes at Bethany, different things like that we're going to be looking at as our market area. So for those of you that know the area, we've got Joe's Italian Bistro over there, Bethany and Jupiter. He's not concerned about what's going on over here at, McDermott and Custer. He's not concerned about that audience. He wants his audience to be there so he can actually come in here and see specifically what areas. In this situation, it's a client that I've got that's over in East Texas, and they're very focused on the whole East Texas area. For them, I can come in here and say, well, look, you've got traffic from Gilmer, Longview, Grapevine, which is kind of interesting. We've got a little bit of a disconnect there. 5% of his traffic is coming from Grapevine. You know why? That's where one of the data networks is for your cellular stuff. So a lot of the East Texas cellular data traffic is going through Grapevine. So it's going to show up in that situation as that. Quitman, Mineola, Lindale, if any of you are familiar with East Texas, you can tell where all of this traffic's coming from. If you're on more of a national brand, like I've got clients literally all around the country, and even I've got clients out of the country. So for me, I can literally go in and see where all of my traffic is from a worldwide level, so we can see, am I hitting the right audience there? Am I focused enough on location? So I can get in and say, okay, if I have too much stuff that's outside of my service area, I want to make sure that I've got some great branding for the specific local area that I'm focusing on. Here's a great tip that I give a lot of my clients. One of the best ways that you can start adding a little extra city or location-specific thing is whenever you have testimonials on your website, make sure that you put their city or the area. So if they're in Highland Park or if they're in mid-cities, put that on, Susie Q at Highland Park, Texas, gave me that thing. So let's start to give you a little bit more ways of being able to target your audience where they're at. So when Google is reading all of this stuff and serving this information, well, hey, there's something about Highland Park on here. Oh, and it's about, housekeeping. So housekeeping, Highland Park, hey, that may be some information that I can serve. And, taking Beth's talk this morning about SEO 101, take all of your testimonials and put those on individual pages on your site. If any of you are using WordPress, there's this great testimonial plugin that you can do that literally allows you to take all of your plugins into that post and page mentality. It's called Testimonial GC, I think it is. Check with me afterwards and I'll give you the exact plugin. But it adds a new testimonial thing on there. It allows you to create a testimonial, a new page for every one of your testimonials, and it's got all these great little features in it to where you can literally do some great geotagging with those. So definitely getting in here and seeing some of this information is really valuable for us to look at. There's another great thing that we can look at in here, and we can start getting into operating systems. How many of you actually want to kind of get an idea of what we need to focus on? How many of my clients are on mobile devices? How many of my clients are on Macs, PCs, different things like that? I can even go in and look at the browsers themselves. Oh, no, that's the top one. Close enough. So I can see, 19,000 of the visitors to this are all on Windows. Almost 3,000 are on iOS devices, using those, the iPhones. Android. So I can get a real good idea of where my audience is really looking at this and get a really cool perspective. So we can kind of think about who uses what devices. So if I've got, stay-at-home moms, for example, that are, maybe doing that Scentsy business, or they're the Mary Kay rep, that type of things, and I'm going to be targeting other stay-at-home moms, then I'm going to be getting out here and looking at, how many Windows users do I have? Okay, I'm getting there. And I can really get in and start narrowing in on exactly who I'm wanting to target on or get an idea of who my audience is. So there's some really exciting things that we can look at in that regards. So one of the bad things about Google Analytics is there's so much information out here in trying to come up with a really easy way to be able to understand what's going on, it can be a bit of a challenge. So on the top of the page that I put on your seats, I actually gave you a couple of links there for a couple of custom dashboards. So one of the nice things that Google allows us to do is be able to go in and develop our own custom dashboards. Let me show you what one of these dashboards look like. So the first one that I've given you a link to is kind of this overview dashboard. And it gives us some really nice views, so we've got a little bit more visual representation of what we were going in. So instead of having to go out and dig into all of these different windows and all of this stuff to gather this information, I can come in here at a snapshot and see what's going on. So I can do some great quick snapshots. Another really great feature that you've got inside of Google Analytics, because most of us are pretty busy and we're trying to run our businesses and all of that, right? Well, we don't want to have to come out here and log in to Google every other day or once a week or once a month to see what's actually happening. Well, take a look up at the top of the screen. We've got an option up here that's called email. So we can literally come in here and set up one of our custom dashboards to automatically send that information to our mailbox. So I can literally come in here and I can put in multiple email addresses. So if I need to send it to, my marketing person, my web designer, and I want to copy too, I can set up all three of those email addresses in there. I can tell them, okay, I want it to go, weekly on Mondays, and it's going to send it to me in an attachment as a PDF file. So I can get that information very quickly and easily on my schedule without having to remember what my Gmail login is and all that kind of fun stuff. So this is a great little resource. So that's one of the dashboards. There's another one here that I also really like, and I call it my trending dashboard, because I can get an idea of what some of the trends are that are going on. So I can see what my breakdown is of mobile. So I can see in this situation that, I've got up 4,000 people that are coming from mobile devices. Think about it. Averages for a lot of companies nowadays is about 30 to 40% mobile traffic. But if you're a brick and mortar location like, Joe's over here, Italian Bistro here in Allen, he's probably got 60 or 70% of his traffic coming to his website on mobile devices. So if I've got a large percentage of mobile traffic, I better make sure that my website looks great on a mobile device. And I could actually get into a whole nother hour-long conversation about mobile websites. What we got to do with all of that, but we won't. Stop by and we can chat about that at my table. I can get in and see great things on this trending one, like what are my hot pages on my website? So I can see in this situation that their online banking page is their next largest page on their website. So I could look at, in regards to, if I've got, that product, that services page, or I've got a new piece of blog content out there, I can see how well that's trending on my website right now. All from a simple dashboard like this that I've given you the link for there on that page. So enough about Google Analytics. Knowing who's coming to our site and all of that's good, but the big question is what are people searching for? What are they really searching for? I always joke about, I actually wrote a blog post about this about 2.5 years ago. If someone doesn't search for your keywords, are they really your keywords? I've got a client that I had a big disagreement with him because he wanted to be found for this particular keyword phrase. And I said, there's only 6 people in the entire Dallas Metroplex that search for that each month. I said, let's take this keyword that people are really searching for and educate them onto this other keyword by using this keyword as the main keyword, but we're going to use this one, mix it into the mix so that we start educating them on what that product or service was that he was wanting to do. So we've got another free tool over at Google. It's called Google's Webmaster Tools. Now here's the big question. How many of you are familiar or actually use Google's Webmaster Tools? You're a nerd! So Google's Webmaster Tools is like this really cool secret tool that we've got. How would you like to be able to tell Google, hey Google, here's my website, here's all of the pages that I've got, and you go index them. I don't want to just assume that you're going to go find my website. So Google's given us this great tool out here. Let me jump back up to the top of the site dashboard here. I got carried away earlier. So what's really great is Google's Webmaster Tools, and I gave you the link for it there on the top of the page. So Google's Webmaster Tools, literally we go out and we tell Google, here's our website. We go out there and actually verify with Google that, hey, this is our website. We truly are the ones that are, administrating this website. We got a little piece of code we can throw in there. Or if you already have Google Analytics installed, you can say, well, verify it through my Google Analytics account. But it's a beautiful tool for us. Did I mention it's free? Great price. So we've got some great resources that we can pull up off of this. There on the left, we've got crawl errors. Google goes out and they're crawling. You've probably heard about spiders that that go out and crawl the internet looking for pages and new content and fresh, all this great stuff. Well, this gives us a report on what the errors are. So if it finds a broken link on your website, it's going to be in here. Right now, I've got 7 errors on this client's page. I got to go fix those. Broken links, Google doesn't want broken links because that's a bad experience for the people that are actually going to be coming to our website. So I can let this tool, this free tool, let us know what the broken links are. Another great thing that we can do is over here on the side, we've got sitemaps. So we can actually go register our sitemap with Google, telling Google, hey Google, here's what all the pages are really on our website. I don't need you to assume because after all, we know what assume means, right? So I don't want you to assume what my pages are. I want you to literally go out here and read my sitemap that I'm telling you what the sitemap is. And then it goes out there and does that. It's great because it literally will read that sitemap. There's some great plugins for generating sitemaps on WordPress, Joomla, all of these different platforms. And then you can also, if you still have kind of an old-fashioned site that's not using any of the newer technology, there's also sitemaps that you can do for that. And again, it goes out there and it tells you how many URLs, how many actual pages it's finding on that, how many images that it's indexing, different things like that. Again, educating Google to your exact content. It's a win-win. Well, my favorite thing is the middle column here, search queries. How many times would you like to know that you've actually showed up in a search result? How many times people actually clicked on your link in those search result pages that Beth was talking about this morning? Here's your resource to find out what that is. So in this situation, I actually intentionally brought this up. There were 20,000 impressions. In other words, I showed up in 20,000 searches. I had 81 clicks. I'm not the math wizard here, but that's an extremely low click-through rate on me presenting that information out there. So at that point in time, I'm going to go, we need to focus a little bit on one of the things that Beth was talking about was those page descriptions. We got to make sure that we're using those right keywords out there. Let's drill into this a little bit more. I can actually click into that that headline up there, and we get in and we can actually start seeing exactly what people were searching for. Let me reorder this list by impressions. So I can see in this situation that I had 696 searches that I showed up in for garage door repair Plano. How many clicks did I get? 0. We have a problem, Houston. So, we being the smart entrepreneurs, we're going to leverage this. We're going to go in and start creating some content all based around the phrase garage door repair Plano. There's one of my keywords that we're going to focus on. So this week I'm going to create a new blog on talking about garage door repairs in Planos. Here's cool ways that you can repair your garage door yourself and blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to stuff the keywords like Beth was talking about this morning, but I'm going to really get in here and use this to start leveraging what I'm going on. Because after all, I've got almost 700 people in the last 30 days have searched for garage door repair Plano. It's a win-win, right? I can get in there and really start looking on that. I can literally start going down this list. Look at what the big bangs are. What's going to give me the biggest payoff on me going out and generating some content on this? So in this situation, I've clearly got a number of things all in around garage door repair and the city of Plano and different things like that I see that we've got to start optimizing our content to be found by that. I can do those same things on any one of your site just simply using this free tool called Webmaster Tools. So I've given you a bunch of links on the top of the page there on the two dashboards, how to get to Google Analytics. Did I mention they're free? So y'all kind of get the title of my talk today. You know. So anyway, so there's some great things that we can really do to get out here. Let's open the floor up and answer some of y'all's questions.